This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, May the 19th, is someone who's not alive. I know that doing someone who isn't alive is sometimes not the best option, but I've already done ones on May 19th for GSP, David Edgar, and Kevin Garnett. The rules state that, well, I can't do the same person twice and all that. So this guy is a legend. I know you'll be calling national pride and what the heck are you doing? But this guy was an icon and all that. One of the first Canadian athletes that got really big international impression and all that. His name is Percy Williams, who was born in Vancouver, May 19th, 1908. The only child of his parents. His father from England, his mother from Newfoundland, and of course, Newfoundland was not part of Canada until 1949. At the age of 15, he actually had rheumatic fever and was told not to do physical activities. But his high school required participation in athletic competitions. He started to sprint and all of that. So he was huge and all that. At the 1928 Olympic trials, he won the 100 and 200 meters race. So he would get both of them. But he had to earn his travel ticket for the trials. He and his coach worked as waiters and dishwashers in a railroad dining car. And Vancouver fans raised the money to pay the transatlantic ship passage to the Olympics, as it is. So anyway, the 1928 Olympics were in Amsterdam, Holland, and Williams put up a 10.6 second time to equal the Olympic record and did the same in semifinals, losing to Bob McAllister. So the finals happened and all that. Get the stats here. So in the 100 meters and all that, he won his group. Won heat 12, so he went to the quarterfinals where he had the 10.6 losing. Well, he had the 10.6 to beat Jack London of Great Britain, not the offer. In the semifinals, he took second place, but it didn't matter. There were 6 competitors: Williams of Canada, Jack London of Great Britain, George Lammers of Germany, Frank Wyckoff from the US, Wilfred Lake from South Africa, and Robert McAllister from the United States. The sprinting police officer, or whatever I think it was called. I don't know. Was he the one? The flying cop. That's it. So anyway, Legg and Wyckoff would both false start. And then Percy Williams ran like the wind and shockingly won the Olympics for Canada at 10.8 seconds, beating Jack London and George Lammers. So Percy had a gold medal in his pocket. It was just amazing and all of that. So Canada had a sprint gold medal, but then he went through to the 200 meters. And there was a 3-person heat. All he had to do was get top 2, and he won the heat. In the quarterfinal heat, he took second to Helmut Koenig of Germany and narrowly beat Charlie Bora of the United States with a spot in the semifinals. In the semifinals, he won his group and moved on. So it's him, Walter Rangeley of Great Britain, Jakob Scholler of Germany, Helmut Koenig of Germany, Jackson Schultz of the United States, and John Fitzpatrick, his fellow Canadian. So anyway, it was a huge race and all of that around the 200-meter mark. And Koenig actually led out of the bend and all that. However, he was nipped at the line by Percy Williams. And Percy won the gold medal at 21.8 seconds ahead of Walter Rangeley of Great Britain and Koenig of Germany. Actually, there were rumors that third place it was a dead heat and they wanted to have a runoff. However, Jackson Schultz said no to it and Koenig took third. But the film of the race did confirm that Koenig took third anyhow, so nothing to do with that. So with that 200-meter win, Percy Williams became the first non-American to complete the sprint double. Usually, when a person wins 100 meters and 200 meters, he's American, but Percy became the first non-American to do so. Unfortunately for Canada, they were DQ'd in the final at the 4x100-meter contest when they had baton troubles. Obviously, Percy's victories were front page news in Canada, and he was a national hero. 25,000 people welcomed him at the Pacific Railway Station in Vancouver. He was met off the train by the mayor and premier and paraded Percy through the confetti-filled city. It was actually broadcast live by reporters with microphones stationed around the route. He would set the world record in 1930 at the Canadian Track and Field Championships, and then would win the 100 meters in the first ever Commonwealth Games that were held in Hamilton. Unfortunately, he would tear the tendons in his upper left leg and all that. He tried again in the 1932 Olympics to capture the magic in the 100 meters. He actually went to the semifinals but fell. I don't know if it was like a terrible, easy loss and all that. But anyway, yeah, he went to the semifinals where he lost third place by 0.08 seconds. So he lost to Eddie Tolan, Danny Gilbert, and Takayoshi Yoshioka. Well, 10-9 win wasn't going to do anything because everyone had happened and all that. So anyway, yeah, he would have been dead meat. He tried the 4x100 meter for Canada, and they ended up fourth. And all that. So anyway, he actually stopped running and actually became an insurance agent. In 1940, he actually was part of a militia for World War II. He was a civilian pilot during World War II. So anyway, Percy Williams did a lot of things. In the mid-1960s, he actually donated his 2 gold medals from the Olympics to the BC Sports Hall of Fame, saying that he wanted them to be seen and remembered. But they were stolen in 1980, and basically figured that the medals were melted down for gold prices and all that. Percy actually shrugged off the loss and said, that's fine. But 2023, the IOC actually replaced the 2 golds with newly minted replicas. The Percy Williams family would rededicate them to the BC Sports Hall of Fame. But Percy would be bitter about his sporting experiences. In fact, he was the only living Canadian Olympic gold medalist to refuse the federal government's invitation to attend the 76 Summer Games in Montreal. In 1979, he was made an officer of the Order of Canada. Percy never married and lived with his mom till her death in 1980. He lived on alone and suffered through terrible arthritic pain and all that. Percy would then be found dead in 1982 at the age of 74 from a self-apparent gunshot to the head. It was like unbelievable. Like, why would he do such a thing like that? Like, it just didn't make sense and all that. But yeah, Percy Williams died at age of 74. But still, despite everything, he was on the long line of Canadian 100-meter sprinters. Although Canada didn't really have a good 100-meter sprinter until Ben Johnson came around, and we all know what he did with performance enhancing drugs. It wasn't until Donovan Bailey in 1996 winning the gold medal for Canada that Canadian sprinters were actually given credence. Imagine the credence that Percy Williams would have had nowadays. But that's another time for another story. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do